Drew Crevey may have just produced one of the most interesting and fun-looking books to come out of Comicsgate in quite a while. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Island 19, A Tale of the Bermuda Triangle. It's been a long time since I've seen a Bermuda Triangle story, so this looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Let's see what we've got here. And, before anyone says anything, yes, I see the problem. Let's not get distracted by this. We will get to the problem in a minute. Let's focus on the good parts first, shall we? Jumping straight in, we can see that there is a lot, and I mean a lot of information dumped onto us at the very beginning of the campaign. This is very TLDR. We're going to skip to the good part. After a harrowing ejection from a lightning-damaged plane, now marooned on an enigmatic island in the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, Flight 19's mission commander, Captain Crash Keddel, must band together with other displaced refugees from throughout history to stop a malevolence he's never encountered. After the old captain undergoes a remarkable physical transformation of his own, he learns of a dark plan by a rogue group of post-World War II Nazis led by the evil Doktor Eroberer Zerst. His plan: to launch an attack on the United States mainland using a small army of superpowered genetically altered creatures. These creatures can only be constructed on the island using its mystical properties. Perhaps the captain and his new friends can also use the island's wonders to their advantage to stop the malicious Dr. Zerst's plan, as well as finding a way to escape the island themselves. If you go ahead and shorten that up a little bit and pop it up to the top of this, that would work much better. And now that we've gone ahead and read the good part, let's read some of the nitty-gritty. This is going to be a 90 to 100 page book. It's based on true events, or as we should really say now in the Hollywood vernacular, it was inspired by true events surrounding the 1945 disappearance of the NAS Flight 19 over the Bermuda Triangle. I've actually been hearing about this event all my life. They had it in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They had it in Ripley's Believe It or Not. Flight 19's disappearance over the Bermuda Triangle has kind of become a living legend in my life. And I gotta admit, it's really cool to see that this story hasn't just inspired me, but inspired others as well. And just as noted here in the comic, none of the airmen or planes from Flight 19 were ever seen again. Scrolling down, we can see a preview of the book, and I've got to say, I really do like this. Look at the artwork. It really does combine that feeling of the type of animation that we got back in the 1940s and 1950s. The artistic style, it definitely harkens back to that, but I see some additional flair, particularly as we get down and we see some of the designs for the female characters. You definitely kind of get this animation vibe, that artistic style that was kind of emblematic of what we saw in, for example, Ren and Stimpy, Animaniacs, and a bunch of other animated shows back in the 90s. In fact, as I looked through this entire comic, this is not a comic book. This is an animated movie that never got made, whose creators are actually bringing us this story and vision in comic book form. I would have loved to have seen this as an animated movie back in the day. This is really, really great. Just on the quality of the artwork alone, I would back this. If the story for this comic book is on par with the actual artwork, I am so sold on this. And now that we've actually talked about how great this comic book looks, let's go ahead and talk about some of the problems. And we all know the first one, and everybody who's seen any one of my videos is going to already know what this is going to be. We have digital copy. Oh boy. If I've said it once, I've said it too many times. Digital copies do not sell well. The implementation of a digital download for your comic has to be done carefully. Number one, you never offer a digital copy unless it is part of a bundled pack with the actual physical book. That digital copy should never be more than $10. And it's always best to hold off on releasing a digital copy of your first book until your second book comes out. You offer the digital copy with the second book so that people have an opportunity to catch up and you can forego the cost into reprinting a book you already released. Scrolling down, we see some other problems. We've got our best offer, which is $100, that is going to give you everything. We're talking about a signed novel with the original cover, a variant cover, all stretch goal items, plus extra, and you get credit in the book. This is the best offer, already 3 sold I might add, but it's at the bottom. This is the offer that needs to be your primary offer at the top of the list. Not only does it need to be your primary offer, it needs to be a limited edition. It needs to be something where you're only offering, for example, 100 of them. The rarity of an item is what's going to drive people to actually invest their time and money into putting that into buying a $100 perk. If it's just as easy to get a $100 perk on the first day as it is the last day of your campaign, you're doing something wrong. So this $100 offer needs to be limited to 100 versions of it, offered at the top of the list of your campaign and encouraging people to get the rare purchase as quickly as possible. Right under that, you can go ahead and put your $25 offer as your second item. The problems I'm seeing in Drew's campaign really stem from the fact that this is his first Indiegogo campaign ever. And there's always a bit of growing pains when you're doing something for the first time. Fortunately, he's got 41 days left in this campaign, and he has plenty of time to make a few minor adjustments to his perks in order to go ahead and boost those sales. Of course, the best thing we can all do is take a look at Drew's campaign and back it. I mean, if you like Indiana Jones, if you liked Venture Brothers, if you liked Animaniacs, and some of the zany fun that we got out of Nickelodeon back in the 1990s, then this is definitely a comic book that you want to pick up. Because for me, clearly, this was an animated movie that never got its day on film. An absolutely beautiful passion project that is totally worth supporting and is certainly worth every dime that you're going to spend on it. So jump over to Indiegogo, spend $25 and buy one of these books. I mean, for criminy sake, you have an Army Air Corps pilot punching out a freaking Nazi gargoyle. How are you not sold on this?